is the longest time that I've been away,
Yeah.
away from Singapore. That is because the last time was 2008, when I sang Liu. Yeah, so I've missed Singapore. It's so
Is
nice
it
to be
is
back.
it is it different a different experience singing in your country and Singapore?
Oh, definitely, yes.
Tell us
It's a
how.
it's a different kind of audience. Well, of course, in the Philippines, we all know each other. It's a very
It's a
small.
big family.
Yes, a big family, but a small circle of classical singers.
Oh,
We're
really?
very small.
Smaller than in Singapore, or you think?
No.
Bigger, definitely.
Singapore is small. I mean,
Small, yeah.
that's why we get invited here, I guess. Because you need more for a big opera production. That is. But in the Philippines, I guess, yeah, we're all very familiar with each other.
Yeah.
Everybody
And
knows.
that helps the performance,
who's-
right?
I'm sorry.
That helps you as a performer.
Well, it
You're performing
does.
for friends.
Well, yes, for friends, but then we're also too familiar.
Okay. Better
So
strangers. Then you can do anything on stage.
yes, because
No worry.
it feels fresh.
Yeah.
Actually, to be honest, in the Philippines, because we've all been the same group, and so actually my challenge there is I'm competing really with myself, not with other singers. It's like, okay, they've known me for so long, they know my voice from 10 years ago,
Okay,
and
you
now
do
I'm
make them
thinking,
more.
yes, because then they'll always be comparing me with 10 years ago.
dear.
I've changed my repertoire, or just added, and the voice will change, and some people are, oh, we like how you were singing before, and now, and then some, oh, I really like your voice now, things like that, and it has some sort of pressure also
Okay.
for me because I do have an audience,
Yeah.
but I listen to my friends. They know better.
Okay.
So
They're honest with you.
it's kind of like
Yeah.
yes. So it's like
Is
that.
this your first time singing Field Liturgy?
Yes,
Yes.
but not my first Cosi.
Ah.
I sang the Spina, but
Alright.
not in a full production.
Yeah.
But we studied the whole opera, and it was a very nice experience because I had a wonderful experience with Martin. What's his last name? Well, he's a New York coach, and yeah, he's just the expert on Mozart and a lot of other operas. So that was a great opportunity, and.
That's when you were Despina.
Yes, I was the Spina, but there was a senior cast of professionals from all over the world, and they got to perform it. But we did a concert version. But I also got to rehearse with the great Christoph Eschenbach, because the senior, the Spina, got sick, and it was the dress rehearsal, and she didn't want to sing. So I was called to sing the whole run through, and she was on stage, but she was just miming.
Well,
So
It's just
what was that experience like then, working with Eschenbach?
It was scary, but at the same time very fulfilling, because I don't know if I'll ever get the chance again to sing with Christoph Eschenbach holding the baton.
Did you learn anything from that experience, from his?
Well,
From
we
him?
really just went through the whole opera. He didn't say anything. It was a run through, but just I guess just being conducted by him is such a great experience for me. I had to be at my best, and in fact, our great Singaporean tenor Shei was the Ferrando.
okay. So what are the challenges in tackling this role? First time.
Musically,
Yeah.
well, it's a very challenging piece for me. The whole opera, vocally, because it has a big range, but not very high. But it goes low and very quickly. So a lot of
Come
big
squaglio.
leaps, come squaglio. So it's very technically
And the second
difficult.
aria, Pieta, has a lot of low stuff, is that right?
Yes.
So that's a
also,
challenge for soprano.
It's actually, for me, the per pieta is more challenging because it's also, you have to be very calm and at the same time very solid vocal.
And the music is very quiet and you get
Yes.
exposed.
Yes, and also emotionally, I guess, because at that point is also sort of a breaking point for me emotionally.
Yeah.
It's when I'm in between emotions.
So what's more difficult, the arias, the singing things, or the recitative?
Or the recitatives,
Yeah.
they have different
Difficulties.
So I can't really compare, but the recitatives are always difficult.
Don't you think it's difficult to remember them?
Yes.
How do you
First
go
of all,
about
I don't really. Italian is not. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
a language I really speak, but so I need to learn them phonetically. Of course, I'm familiar with with some words, but it's still a foreign language to me.
Yeah.
So I need a system to learn it, and it needs time.
So you spend hours and hours.
Oh, yes. Hours and hours and days. In fact, when I when I accepted the role, I knew, okay, I'm going to block 2 months.
So you learn it in 2 months.
Well, I was supposed to learn it in 2 months, but then I got sick.
Oh.
And I got sick during the time when I was supposed to be learning the music. And it's difficult because then, I couldn't really learn it without singing. And so I had to just stop and listen to some recordings, which is not my usual process. It's usually I learn the music by myself on the piano because I didn't want to be influenced by other singers because then it'll be difficult. Because the first time you learn it, that
The
sticks.
first impression, the strongest impression.
Yes, and so, but then because I was sick, I had to. I said I need time, so I have to do that.
But if you were not sick, you think 2 months is enough to learn the whole?
Yes, 2 months if I'm not too busy.
Okay, okay. Now, the Fiordiligi, her character, can you describe her character?
She's, for this particular production, she's a young lady in her early 20s, and she's the slightly older sister of 2 sisters, of the Rabella. And since she's the older sister, she tries to be the stronger one and the very protective sister. But also, the 2 sisters have very different personalities, very different characters. I'm the more serious one, and more strict, yes. And maybe that comes from me being the older sister, trying to be the responsible one, trying to do the right thing. And of course, the younger sister is the more bubbly, more open, more adventurous one. And therefore, that's why it happens in the opera. She was more easily swaying, and I was the last one. But then it was harder for me. I think because of that pride that, I'm supposed to be strong, but what is this happening? And that's what was happening on that second aria. So that's very interesting.
So, you, Rachelle, which sister are you more like?
Should I say that?
In terms of character, of course.
In terms of character, I guess.
More playful, cheerful, or more strict and serious?
Well, it's funny because at this point in my life, I think I'm more serious just because I've been through.
Playful.
Yes, and I know the consequences of that, and I think I'm done with that.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's time to be
So
serious.
it's easy to relate now to your role. Is that right?
I guess so, because it's something that I've been through. And there was also a time when I was younger and I wanted to be always doing everything correct. And I didn't want to make a mistake. It was that, it's the lack of, it's that fear of, oh no, if I make a mistake, then I don't know how I'm going to deal with that.
So it's pretty easy for you then to play her, isn't it? Because you can relate very fully with how Fiordiligi feels, what she is. No.
Actually, my favorite female character is Listina.
Oh, really? Because it's just a lot of fun.
Actually, she's closer to my
Oh,
to
your
my
character.
personality, my
Okay.
character.
Oh.
I guess that's our cue to stop.
Wait, I want one last question. I want to ask, how do you relate to the music that you sing? Because the Fiordiligi's music is up and down and all over the place. Does that suit her character? Because it doesn't seem to. It's just because she's so strict. I think she should get music that's a bit more serious.
No, I think it's not because of her character. It's more the situation.
Yeah, okay.
Because she's faced with this and she's just emotionally.
That's a very good point.
challenged.
I was wondering
It's
how she fits into
at that moment.
the crazy intervals and stuff.
Yes.
Good. All the best for the show. I will come and see it.
Yeah, we're looking forward.
Thank you. Thank you.